3, 2, 1. Today, we're at Manchester Country Club, and we're gonna be doing some FPV drone shots. This is something that we actually had done last year, and it was a little bit challenging, not only for the drone operator, but the golfer too. While we did get some really cool shots last year, this time around, we're gonna try a few different things and try and get even closer to the golf ball, so very excited about today.
My name's Tom McMann. I got into some FPV drone stuff maybe like a year and a half ago, and just been usually doing it as a hobby, but recently got more into some of the filmmaking stuff and been trying to get some projects going, and that's pretty much where we're at. One of the hardest things with trying to track a ball is, lining up the speed and also lining up the shot.
Yeah.
So making sure that the golfer's comfortable with a drone
Whizzing by
full speed, but also, getting that shot, getting a good shot, but it's got to be the right shot.
Yeah, for sure.
So assuming the drone's going by at 60 to 80 miles an hour, I'm not going to keep up with the drive, but keep up with a wedge.
A wedge, or maybe like a short iron, like a 9.
Exactly.
So like 150 in will probably be like the best, I would say. It would be cool to get just some additional shots, if you will. Like, it might be cool here, you come whizzing through the trees and catch the drive, even if you're not following the ball, just to see those shots. And then last time when you were kind of like just getting shots of the golf course, I'm down for that stuff too. So obviously the goal is to get at least one shot of seeing the golf ball in the air.
We'll see if that happens.
We'll see what happens.
That's the challenge.
That is the challenge.
My full size, which is considered a 5-inch drone, 5-inch blades. And that's primarily just for shooting outdoors mainly. And then I have a few that I use for indoor shoots. One, if we got to go really small gaps, it's this big, no more than the size of my hand. It's got a stripped down GoPro on it. It's really meant just for indoor flights because a little bit of wind is just gonna take this thing right out of the air. And then I got something medium that's a little bit more kind of indoor, outdoor. Serves somewhat of an all-purpose, but definitely doesn't hit high speeds.
So today, why would you use this drone as opposed to the bigger ones?
So if we're on the green and I want to get some really close-up shots, but not have to worry about anyone getting their legs cut off by a blade, we'll go with this. This bumps into you, it's not, you're not going to feel a thing. Probably hurt the drone more than it does you.
And it's quieter too, right?
Yeah, much quieter. That big one, when it gets going, people tend to notice it. When we're on a golf course, we want to be respectful. We want to make sure everyone's enjoying themselves out here.
Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. 8. After 9 holes, I think we got some pretty good shots. It's definitely a lot more challenging. I remember how challenging it was to get the timing right. My first one was not good, but I think Jake and Justin got a couple really good ones. We're still figuring out the timing, I feel like.
Yeah, Jake and Justin got some good shots. It's really a little bit of that, just tightening it up.
Yeah.
Because we got some good shots where it tracks well, we're right on line with the shot, but it's just that distance, when we're shooting film, you want to fill the frame and you want to get some interesting shots. And if the ball's so far away, it's not doesn't look as good as if it was up close. Yeah, we've got some great footage. Feel like we're really kind of hitting our groove, and within the next couple holes, I
think the back is also a lot easier. It's a little more spread out. It's an old golf course, so tee to green, short distances, but for walking and stuff like that. So there's groups around, and The drone's a little loud.
A little loud.
So we want to be respectful of all the other people around here. Any tips that you could give for people that are wanting to start getting into FPV?
Yes. One of the greatest things I ever did was starting on a simulator. Get your remote, buy a simulator, and practice. Because you crash on a simulator, instantly restart, you're back up in the air.
You're not out money.
Right. Crash your drone out here, something may go wrong, you might break something, you got to go find it. Like, for every 100 crashes you have in a simulator, it'd be like one crash in real life.
How long do you think it took you to really get the hang of flying the drone once you actually had it?
I practiced for about 2 or 3 months on the simulator before actually getting in the air. And even that first time you get in the air, it's nerve-wracking because, you know, it's real life now. You always start in like an open field. Everyone wants to go for the risky shots right off the bat, but if you fly up in the trees and it gets stuck 50 feet up, like, it's gonna be a little hard to get.
Yeah.
Start in an open field, fly around, get used to it, and it's really one of those things where more consistent practice is gonna be better than like a really long day of practice. It seems a little more second nature the more you practice.
Oh, go. Sorry, I didn't know.
So it's been about a week since we've shot this thing. The video's actually edited all together, so I've had some time to kind of reflect on the shoot and the edit. By the way, if you're interested in seeing the full video, it'll be on the King Wolf Creative YouTube channel. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Overall, I am wicked stoked on how this came out. I think the edit's super cool, but we did have some struggles while we were shooting this challenge. The biggest thing, as I'm sure you heard, was timing. Having the drone whizzing by the golfer while the golfer's trying to make impact, and then having the drone operator try and track the golf ball. There's a lot of moving parts. It definitely took us some time to get into a groove, and actually I think one of the last few shots that we had done, we started calling out where the golf ball was heading. So if it was starting right and going left, that way it gave Tom a little bit more information on where the golf ball was so he could do his best to track it.
3, 2, 1. Left
right side of the pin, right at it.
If we were to do this again, I definitely would try and give Tom as much more information as possible so that he can get as close to the golf ball as possible, because that was the main goal. The other struggle that we dealt with, which was kind of poor planning, I guess, was the time of day that we shot. And the video feed that's in Tom's goggles is actually a significantly lower resolution than the GoPro. So he's not seeing what the GoPro sees. There's a little camera on each of his drones, and that's the feed that he sees. And there was a lot of holes where the sun was kind of pointing down at us, and when Tom would kind of go up and try and follow the golf ball, he would get a glare or the sun would be in his eyes, and it would be hard for him to actually track the golf ball. If we were to do this again, I would definitely go out earlier in the morning, just because the sun's not as harsh, and it would probably be a lot easier for Tom to operate the drone. As far as recording format and all that stuff, we were using a GoPro on the FPV drone. Tom was shooting at 2.7K with an aspect ratio of 4:3. The reason that he did that was because he uses this app in post to stabilize all the footage called Real Steady. And basically, the way Tom explained it is that the 4:3 aspect ratio just works best with that program. And then frame rate, we actually shot in 60 frames per second for a couple of reasons. The main reason being that we wanted to be able to slow down the footage. And then the other reason is because this is kind of an action sport style thing. You know, the drone is flying at a high speed trying to chase a golf ball. So because of that, you want to overcrank the shutter speed. We just did the normal 180-degree shutter rule with 60 frames per second. But because of that, we are at 1/120th of a second for your shutter speed, so that's going to make a much more crisp image. Last year we actually did it at 24 frames per second, and I like the way it looks. There's a lot more motion blur, but this time we wanted to just try something different. If you're interested in learning more about FPV or want to see more FPV behind the scenes stuff, let us know and we will bring Tom back on and shoot some more stuff. But I think that's going to conclude today's video. If you like this video, if you like what we're doing here, would really appreciate you subscribing, ringing the bell, all that stuff. Like, comment, do all the YouTube things. It means a lot to us. But as always, my name's Bert Cullinane, and we'll see you soon.